Happy Monday, April 5th, 2021. Baseball, basketball, going at it every day. Such a fun time. And if you guys are the golf enthusiasts, I understand it's a big week for golf. NASCAR's coming back this weekend. There's so much to do, so much sports to enjoy, and it just feels slowly the world opening back up. Watching baseball last night, they kept going to clips of the crowd, and you see like a father and a daughter and son just enjoying the game. It's just, things are starting to feel better. So let's enjoy the bass line, the beat drop, in the name of the world opening back up. We got 7 games tonight. Unique slate in that all but one game tonight locks at lock. So a lot of East Coast action going on, which could create an opportunity for us to not have to dwell on news and late scratches and what have you, as there's only one game that will have any late swap ability. So I think that'll be a rare treat that we get to enjoy tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Also opens up the ability to focus a little bit more on baseball, man. But that's it, man. How are we doing, chat? I am sorry we haven't done a basketball stream in a couple days since last week. When baseball showed up on Thursday, it got crazy mama. It was just chaos all day baseball Thursday. Had to do some other shows, and then over the weekend it was just like trying to catch up on rest and sleep and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys did all right. Looking at yesterday's scores, Kyrie Irving and Nikola Jokic, the highest scorers on the slate. No Harden yesterday. Looks like he should be good to go today. 4 or 5 50 bombs there. So yesterday got pretty wild. Even Kelly Oubre got into the action, as did Kelly Olynyk. So sounds like it was a high-scoring day overall. Hopefully you guys made some money here, and hopefully tonight we can keep that momentum going forward. If you didn't hit yesterday, it's okay, because there's always tomorrow, and tomorrow is today. I missed y'all. If you guys know the drill, though, the vibes. Keep the vibes up. Hit that thumbs up. Interact with us on every game. We'll be chopping it up. And I do believe that I have a co-host coming. I'm not sure if he's here yet. He is not. So while we wait on him and while the viewers get here, Fantasy Labs every day at 3 p.m., they're pretty good at dropping the key news to watch for the day. So we'll kind of use that as a pulse to kind of get us ready to go game by game, stuff we should be watching, guys that might be out creating minutes and usage opportunities for others. Bradley Beal questionable, Fred VanVleet questionable. In my first run, I actually just went ahead and left VanVleet out. I feel like he's more closer to out than in. So until he's rolled in, I'm just kind of prepare for him to be out. Kristaps Porzingis questionable. Josh Richardson questionable. D'Angelo Russell's doubtful, as is Ricky Rubio and Malik Beasley. So opportunity there for Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards to tag team against a league worst defense. We'll keep an eye on that. What's up, chat? What's up? T-Spaz in the house. What up, Darren? Hope you guys had a good Easter. You too as well. Isaiah Stewart, Chalk Day. He just might be. What up, Brody? How's it been in MLB and Osmo? MLB's been great. Osmo's been great. It's nice little like laid back gig for Osmo, man. I thought it might get a little weird, but I show up in chat. You guys are showing love over there, and those guys are just really easy to work with, and just fun. It's fun. So we're having fun. Life is good. What up, Crispy? What up, Pete? Happy Monday. Kelly O and J Mac always go under own. Yeah, man. Kelly O is kind of like the guy you only want to play right now if Christian Wood is out. At least it feels that way, and it doesn't always have to be like that. It really doesn't, man. You guys been all right? You guys doing a good little first week of baseball? A good little week of basketball. Basketball has been just chaotic. This past week, like trying to manage multiple lineups on basketball has just been an absolute headache. Remember, there was one night where it was just a bloodbath a couple days ago. Remember the Draymond got rolled out after a lock game because he didn't start, and then that same night it was just people were dropping like flies. Like nights like that just make you go, oh, this is why I love baseball. And then of course baseball hits you with that variance, couple of average pitchers throwing gems and vice versa, but it is what it is, man. I guess that's the fun of daily fantasy. The grinders are the grinders. And it's going to be nights like that, right? Mama said it. Mama said there'd be nights like that. Let me tag Raj one more time. What you doing? Chat, I'm doing a promotion this week for PrizePicks. By the way, I did pull a couple of the month pass winners. I know Ibsen and Pete won one. some of you guys have different Discord names than YouTube names or Run DFS names, but we did pull. I awarded 2. One's unclaimed, but we also have an unclaimed T-shirt that we gave away the other night on the MLB Opening Day podcast. I gave away one of those, so we got more T-shirts to give away. We got a lot of stuff to give it away, and then like when we give it away, some of you guys leave them unclaimed. So if they don't get claimed, we'll re-give it away. Lots of fun stuff there. Shout out to Rich for sponsoring 4 T-shirts to give away. Some swag out there. All right, let's bring Raj in here. And I'm sure he's going to say some dumb stuff about the Blue Jays. How about those Blue Jays going? Here. Raj, if you are talking, you are muted. Can't hear him. See? Canadians. That dang on Canadian technology. Yeah, so can't hear you, Raj. Anyway, Kelly, J-Mac. Who are we talking about? J-Mac. Freaking Raj. Let's bring him back in here. Here. Raj, I don't know what you're doing, buddy, but it's not working. Add me back. Yeah. Check your user settings and your input, making sure that the mic input is correct versus the source that you're using. And if it doesn't work, figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, I got a show to do. Show must go on. What up, Solo? What up, Joseph? How we doing, buddy? Joseph just came back to VIP. What up, Quan? I got a shirt. Yes, yeah, Quan's the one that claimed it. That's in the mail. The Gundacker Gaming shirt. That is fire. You guys haven't seen it? Gundacker.live/merch. We've got the RunDFS.com hoodies and T-shirts. The Gundacker Gaming hoodies and T-shirt as well. I tell you what, man. You guys are really coming at me for this chip in a chair and you're right. I was going over on Osmo, a bunch of yours in chat, and Emac was throwing off. So we might have to put up a shirt here with like a your or a chip in a chair, and maybe flood those out there. That'd be fun, right? Solo, you doing all right? I don't know what Raj is doing, but I'm about to leave him high in the dust, man. We got a show to do. By the way, PrizePicks. I meant to talk about this PrizePicks deal I'm doing. I'll talk more about it later. But you guys already know we've been partnering with PrizePicks for that instant deposit bonus. If you guys sign up using code Gundacker, you do get an instant deposit bonus where they double your first deposit up to $100. So if you sign up, $20 turns into $40. You get to play it. It's prop betting meets parlay. It's pretty fun. They have basketball. They have baseball. They have coverage for everything. They even have esports. So if you guys want to make some fun parlays there, I've been seeing some success. My boy Rich, if you guys are in the Discord, I've seen Rich run a comma in his account real quick. I think last I looked, he was like 4 or 5K, just goading on the PrizePicks stuff. So we do have a tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet for prop picks and PrizePicks stuff. But check it out. If you sign up using code Gundacker this week and make a qualifying deposit, I think $10, get you $20 back. Every morning, I get a sheet of people that have signed up using that code. If you signed up using the code Gundacker, we will give you a week pass at RunDFS.com. So if you sign up today, I can't give it to you today. I'll give it to you tomorrow when I get the run sheet of who all signed up. Just hit me up on Twitter, be like, hey, this is my RunDFS username. And when they send me that report in the morning, bam, week pass, man. I think that's a crazy promo that we've teamed up to do. So check them out, PrizePicks.com. Code Gundacker, and we will talk more about that later. We might even look at some picks. They have baseball picks as well, pitcher, strikeout props, and hitter props as well. So I think that'll be fun. I hope you guys enjoy that, right? Not playing NBA DFS on Sundays anymore. It does get wild, right? The question is how much to min. Oh, Jordan McLaughlin. Okay, J-Mac. Good question. Yup. All right, I'm going to try Raj one more time.
Check. You hear me now?
Yeah.
There you go.
Canadians in your technology.
I blame Discord.
But nice to have you back, Gun. Mr. Osmo, man. Nice to have you back. Doing your thing.
This guy. Yeah. Nice to see the Blue Jays are cheaters and scumbags and the luckiest team in baseball.
Well, remember the bet chat? I'm still gonna have a nice little Five Guys burger combo on Gun, baby.
Is it a $20 burger combo out there?
$20 for Five Guys burger combo.
Let me just say that you got so lucky, it's dumb. The Yankees' offense was gone Game 3. Game number 1, the rule with the guy on second start extras is dumb. It's stupid. Shouldn't be in baseball. Also, the first 2 games, and really just this series, you got lucky that Zach Britton was injured. Aroldis Chapman was suspended for a pair of games. Luke Voit, the AL leader in home runs last year, injured. So you didn't get the A lineup. Giancarlo Stanton had a day off yesterday. You just got really lucky. You just got lucky.
Have George Springer. All I hear is excuses.
George Springer.
Yep. All I hear is excuses. Jay's about to take down the AL East.
Yeah, okay. No, Baltimore Orioles are clearly the best team in the American League right now. So we ain't trying to hear that. But we're going to remember this. We're going to remember this. And next time, you ain't going to be so lucky. You're just not.
I'm going to say.
Oh, man. So we have 7 games tonight. All the games, Rod, I don't know if you saw this, all but one game, lock at lock.
That's different.
So none of this, Kawhi Leonard flew in 9 p.m. to jack everything up. So hopefully we have all of the information, or most of the information we need, early enough to make our lineups. And I appreciate nights like this when we have dueling locks for MLB and basketball. So if we can get early basketball information, I can have all my lineups set. We'll be ready to go. What up, Dez? What up, Tall? Shout out to you guys in the chat. Small little echo here on Raj's side. Again, ruining everything. These
check.
It's I can hear myself.
Okay.
Also, this is my second stream today.
I saw the baseball stream earlier.
At the end of the baseball stream, I kept losing my voice. So I still got some of this bang, but I busted out some cranberry apple juice as well. So you guys see me sipping on that.
Combo.
I noticed when I was doing a stream the other day, a lot of people thought I was sipping on White Claw. No.
I like White Claws.
I've never.
The lemon lime White Claw? It's like kind of like.
I mean, I know what it is, but it's alcoholic based, right? Like, it's not me. It's not what I do. We don't drink.
Bit of the white girl drink though, a little bit for summer, like the white girl anthem drink.
A white girl anthem. Oh, now I feel even more offended. These people thought I was.
Yeah, it was. They'd be like, "Oh my gosh, give me my claw. Give me my claw."
So would have also accepted 4 Locos. No.
So yeah, it's like a high school thing.
Bang and cranberry apple. Cranberry apple is so good, right? Cranberry and
apple juice. I feel cranberry juice is only good with vodka.
Bro, whoever is like the public relations guy for cranberries is the GOAT. Like, he's just like, no one is out there eating cranberries or really just drinking cranberry juice, but he's just like knocking on apple juice's doors, like, hey, throw some of this in there. Or the alcoholic beverage community. The cranberry guy's doing his thing. Anyway, what are we talking about? Let's talk some basketball. We've got 7 games tonight, chat. 7 p.m. tip-off. Like I said, 90% of your slate is at 7 p.m. Utah Jazz at the Dallas Mavericks. Projected starting 5 for the Jazz. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert taking on Luka Doncic. Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis comes into this game as questionable, so his absence would raise the interest and the usage potential for Luka Doncic. He played on the second against the Knicks, 34 minutes in that game. So we'll see if he's able to go today. If he is able to go, this game overall just feels like... it's the Utah Jazz. They're going to bring the pace down, and the Mavericks also have right now a surprisingly lower pace than the Utah Jazz. So it's going to be a pace down matchup, medium total. Just putting this game in perspective versus the rest of the slate, we do potentially have Washington or Westbrook and Toronto. We have Harden on the slate as well. We've got Cat, who's probably my favorite stud to go after today on the slate. So just kind of putting the Luka with or without Porzingis in context versus the rest of the slate. I don't think I'm going to be that fully enamored with making Luka a priority yet. I don't think it's a bad play by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think he's going to be a priority with or without Porzingis. And then, of course, without Porzingis, you might argue this game gets a little harder for the Mavs to pull off. A full-strength Jazz with Mike Conley in the mix. Their defensive efficiency is one of the highest, if not the highest, in basketball. So it's not really like a matchup I want to pick on, particularly with the Mavericks, outside of taking some stabs at Luka. On the Jazz side, I mean, Donovan Mitchell's over 9K on DraftKings. I need 50 plus. I think that money is probably more confidently put elsewhere today. And Mike Conley, I guess on FanDuel 6,300, I could understand that. And then with or without Porzingis, I could make a case for Rudy Gobert here. We've seen some high rebound games against the Mavericks, especially in the absence of Porzingis. So I do think there's a case for Rudy Gobert. But it's probably just Gobert and Conley on the short list for me. And then Luka's an iffy one. Luka's an error. Do you get the Luka today, considering some of the other options today at that price range, or even just at the high nines?
Yeah, dude, I feel like I kind of like a balanced approach today. Maybe some of the 7, 8K guys, depending on how VanVleet Nude comes out, will open up even more 7, 8K guys. So I don't think Luka's a tier 1 for me. But I don't hate it. I think if it's a close game, he plays 35, 36 minutes, he can definitely get you 16 plus, and the 10-8 price tag is fine. Enough value today. Probably like a tier 3. And I'm thinking maybe like a 20% or tops.
Mm-hmm.
So not running to it. You got Porzingis. Porzingis questionable. I think no, he's still questionable. I thought he was probable, so still questionable. If Porzingis is out, I probably, it's obviously a boost to Luka, but I am a little worried about the matchup. But then Luka probably does jump up to possibly a tier 1. If Porzingis plays at 8-4, I think there's some upside there. Could be a 50 bomb. You give this guy 30 plus minutes, it could be a 50 bomb in any matchup. Utah side, Mike Conley's back. They're fully healthy. I think Conley at that $6,900 price tag is intriguing. 30 minutes last two. He's averaging 40 against in the last 2 games. He sees 30 minutes against Dallas. I could see a 40 bomb at 6,900, which I'll take. Other than that, I'm just not running to play any of these guys. I fall into a build.
I think Rudy Gobert deserves stronger consideration. We always just, at 8K, like every slate, he just kind of gets lost. He is averaging over 50 fantasy points on DraftKings against the Mavericks in 2 games this season in 31 minutes apiece. Like I said, with or without Porzingis, but mostly without Porzingis, their rebound rate dropped dramatically. And Rudy's averaging 16 rebounds a game against the Mavericks this season, and we know that's right up his alley to have 15 to 20 rebounds. So I do like Rudy Gobert, and I would probably say I like him even more without Porzingis. But yeah, you wonder if that game stays competitive.
Tier 2? Rudy Gobert?
Logistically,
Cat,
Cat's more than likely tier 1. Siakam potentially without Van Vliet and everyone is probably up there. So he probably is at least a high tier 3.
And you have DeAndre Ayton at a mid 6Ks, the 6K price tag against Houston.
Yeah, so he's probably a high tier 3, but the spirit of that statement is like, don't forget that he exists today, because he could just be in plain sight with 50 fantasy point potential. So give me some of that. Mavericks also give up a lot of points via the 3 ball. Maybe Bojan gets hot or Mitchell gets hot, but there's a lot of volatility at those price points. So yeah, I think it's Gobert for me, and a little FanDuel plus button on some Conley if I need to. Let's move on to the next game here. Chad, did you have anything on this one? T-Spat says Gobert crushes Dallas. Pull up the stats. Yeah, Gobert's got a really nice, at least recent history against Dallas, and Dallas has been porous without Porzingis in recent history as well. Pete says the list of dumb rules certainly came out this weekend. Runner on second to start the 10th dumb, and Bellinger home run single was dumb. Yeah, there's been some weird ones. The runner on second rule in extra innings for baseball, it's just kind of this movement to make baseball more modernized. Now, there's a couple things that I don't disagree. Like at first, so like there's been some good ones. So like there used to be unlimited mound visits, right? Gary Sanchez and Masahiro Tanaka games used to be so long. Tanaka already one of the slowest deliveries in baseball, and Gary Sanchez like didn't even speak. Like Gary speaks Spanish, Tanaka speaks Japanese. Like they would have, like all the mound meetings, like it used to delay games so long. So when they made 5 mound visits max as a rule, I was like, okay, I could live with this. And then to make the relievers face a minimum of 3 batters unless you get the final out of inning, like I could live with that. You're speeding up the game. The runner on second rule, I could appreciate not wanting those 19, 21 inning games. But maybe we compromise that one. Maybe you put a runner on second after 13 innings. You know what I'm saying? Like at least give a couple of innings to be a little bit fair. But yeah, I don't like the runner on second rule at all. It's at least to be the first extra inning. Maybe give it a couple of innings and then maybe change it up. Boban will shut that down. Yeah, if Porzingis doesn't play, we've seen Boban draw a couple starts here. Boban versus Gobert sounds fun. I definitely, like, anytime you have an opportunity to play Boban for some minutes, he's cheap enough that I would definitely take some stabs here. In his 2 starts in the last 3 games, 24 and 29 minutes. So you get 20 minutes of sub 4K Boban, you have a shot at 30 fantasy points.
What do you think that matchup's like for Gobert?
I think Boban's matchup proof and Gobert's, you know.
No, I mean, yeah, for Gobert, like is Boban just a bigger body that affects Gobert a little more?
Yeah, Gobert might get his stuff blocked. Like that might be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The caveat here is I wouldn't expect like deep minutes on Boban, but nonetheless, like I don't know if Boban. If Boban opened up and I'm already eyeing like Cat and Pascal, it might really disintegrate my potential to get to some Gobert. So yeah. I guess that's something to keep in my back pocket. Also, for Boban to be a play, we probably need. Well, smash. We got Willie Cauley-Stein out, and I guess we just need Porzingis. But there was a game where Kleber and Porzingis was out, right? Was it that game that Boban started? Because I do think if you have Kleber and Dwight Powell...
Kleber played last game and he still saw decent minutes.
I don't think he did. I don't think you're talking about that Washington game? Kleber was out.
Was Kleber out the third? Kleber played last game?
Kleber and Porzingis and Willie Cauley-Stein. Just know that maybe like long term, the plan for Boban to play 28 minutes is probably not real. But I do think even at 20 minutes, I'm in on Boban at that price point. So just leaving that out there. Let's move on to the next game here. Sacramento Kings at the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is probably my favorite game on the slate, and I don't think I'm contrarian in saying that. Project starting 5 for the Kings. Darren Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, and Rashawn Holmes taking on Jordan McLaughlin in the arms of an angel. I can never use that bit, but now life is giving me an opportunity to use that bit. Josh Okogie crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Karl Anthony Towns, the big cat Ernie Ladd. I think the Timberwolves have more bits per capita than any other team in the league. I got 3 bits in the starting lineup. Let's go. 235.5 is our total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Sacramento Kings. Minnesota Timberwolves will be without, looks like potentially without Beasley, Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell. Keeping an eye on all of those guys. I guess they're not officially out. Let me go pull up the Minnesota Timberwolves injury news and notes. But it seems likely that all those guys would miss. D'Angelo Russell, I believe, was officially doubtful. I believe. Ricky Rubio is being listed as doubtful, and then Malik Beasley is being listed as doubtful with a sore hamstring. So that's going to open up opportunities for Jordan McLaughlin. I got him at 37 minutes against the league worst defense, Sacramento Kings. You're going to want to play that. Anthony Edwards probably chuck a bunch of shots, be probably second, if not first, in shot attempts, and then Karl Anthony Towns is self-explanatory. So I don't feel like I need to pull up any type of on-off court tool, but hey, why not? Let's do a little bit of process work here and kind of see where the chips might fall. I'm going to pull up the Fantasy Labs on-off court tool, a free tool that they offer. I'll pull it up on the main stage here, and I guess I'll just put on I guess I'll just put on Cat. I don't even know like there's gonna be sample size here, but I guess I'll just put on Cat and Edwards, and I'll take off like Beasley, D. Russ, and Rubio. So Rubio, Beasley, and D'Angelo Russell. We'll take them off. We'll put Edwards and Cat on. Probably not going to give us much sample size, about 100 minutes. Cat and Edwards both over a 30% usage rate, both a fantasy point per minute, and then Jordan McLaughlin leans in lower usage rate here, but again, almost a fantasy point per minute. The opportunity cost is just way too low, and I would probably start, like if I was going to make a single entry or a cash game lineup, it probably starts with McLaughlin, Edwards, and Cat, right, Raj? Is there any craziness in that statement?
Like McLaughlin and Cat, yeah, 100% tier 1 guys. I mean, I'm a big Anthony Edwards guy. I've been playing him a ton. It's like at that $7,600 price on DraftKings, he like 40's fine, but you want that 50, and he's exceeded 50 once in his past 10.
Okay, okay. I hear your point, and now you're ready for this one? I'm ready. The Sacramento Kings.
Oh, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Do you, though? You hear me talking, but are you listening? It's the Sacramento Kings, bro.
Hey, yeah, top 2, top 3 matchup in the league for sure.
Top one.
Top one. Okay, talk about it. I mean, I get it. I just think there's, again, pivots at that price tag. I mean, is there even really pivots in the small forward spot? No. Point guard spots. I mean, Chris Paul, Fox, no. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be popular. I just think you get like guys from Toronto, you know, so that like Siakam, Moji, and Nunabe's. Him versus Siakam's price. I want to see a kind of youthful spot. Yeah, like so him versus Siakam's 8,500 is not really a comparison. I'm trying to talk away to not play as much as him, but yeah, he's probably gonna be a tier 1.
Don't effing do it. Just play it.
Yeah, get 40% on these guys. I do think Jaden McDaniels is interesting too. He's just seen a ton of minutes, 35 minutes against Sacramento. Not as high as him as the other 3, but I think he's got to be in the pool. Sacramento side, I mean, Fox at 9,200 on DK, I think is there. He's had a couple down games. Last game had 43, before that 27-26. People might be a little down on him, but great spot. Minnesota's not playing any defense, so don't mind him. Am I really going to get the Rashawn Holmes today, the way center's coming up? Probably not, but I get it. Want some of him in tournaments. Cat's not a matchup we run away from. I think that's about it.
Yeah, so as bad as like the Kings are defensively, if I go pull up the team metrics tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, you'll find that the Sacramento Kings are easily the league worst defense, but the Timberwolves are 4th, so they're not that far behind. As there's a slight echo of myself, and without Rubio, I don't think they got better. So this is probably going to be, for all intents and purposes, the highest scoring game on the slate. And I think on both sides, we have a solid predictive value in minutes projected. So Darren Fox, Darren Fox to go out there and drop 50-60. Really, no one on the Kings starting 5 is off limits for me. Obviously, Rashawn Holmes probably has the most pushback based on that price point and how it feels like how strong that the center spot is, especially on a one center site. But for the most part, all these Kings are in play for me, and it's a full-on game stack. And I would probably, like, if I was only to run 20 lineups, there's a good chance it would just be 20 game stacks mixed around a couple of one-offs elsewhere. That's how strong this game appears to me pre-flop. Chat, what do we guys got on this one before we move on? What up, Life of Sen? We missed you. I was not, guys, I missed a couple of days. I was tired. I was busy.
He went corporate. It happens. He goes corporate.
I did not. I did not. Listen, Linda. Listen. One of the streams I missed that had nothing to do with nothing. My old lady had to go get. She had to deal with the DMV, and it required my presence. And I don't know if you guys ever dealt with the DMV before, but this is how it went down. I had to get up at 7 in the morning to be there. We get there. She stands in line. And then we finally get there, and they're like, walk-in's done. Here's your appointment. When's the appointment? You don't know. You'll find out later. All right, later. Email. Boom. Your appointment's at 1:30. Our stream's at 2. So that already like interrupted that, and then it was just like a whole thing. So it had nothing to do with nothing. That was Thursday. Friday was complete chaos. I had obligations there. I had no sleep. It was opening day nonsense. It wasn't a sellout thing. It wasn't nothing about nothing. It was just simply a busy weekend.
We understand. You know what I mean? Like Amazon be destroying mom and pop shops. It happens.
It's not like that. No. They've been extremely nice. Anyway.
No. Shout out to the Osmo team. You know, added the best MLB tout in the game.
Okay.
To the team.
Let's move on to the next game. Chat. Anything else on this one? Rogers, the Kings. Yeah, stack them. Young C. What? Gun stream still? Come on. I not only stream still. This is my second stream of the day right here at youtube.com/gundacker. Okay.
What's going on tomorrow?
Huh? Tomorrow? Yeah, I probably will be doing a double stream tomorrow. The other thing is, like, baseball's been doing all day stuff. So you kind of have to, like, wait for the main slate contest to come out to know what you're going to provide coverage for. And this has been an issue not just for me, just elsewhere. Like I said on my baseball stream, poor Osmo, like, the guy in charge of making their content program, it's like baseball's not doing them any favors by having all day scattered slates. The same here. Like, you don't know what to cover and how to schedule it, and it's kind of the same scenario. But I'm assuming they're going to do like they did today, where they just kind of try and do a 7 p.m. plus main slate. And if that's the case, then I will try and do like another noon my time, 1 p.m. Eastern baseball pod or baseball stream, and then assuming basketball's 6 or more, I probably can jump on at 3 p.m. So if the baseball will do numbers, and baseball, I'll tell you what, our numbers right now are low. I was actually doing these numbers for baseball as well earlier. So if baseball will be all right, I'll continue to do it. Usually every year I'll do baseball until people stop watching because they just get bored of baseball. But I'll do it as long as people are in it. Oh no, 7 a.m. Crimea River. Okay, but 7 a.m. is like ridiculous. Like, I usually go to sleep at 7 a.m. So to be up at 7 a.m. is a whole different. It's a different thing. Knicks at the Nets. Next game on the docket. Projects 25 for the Knicks. Alfred Payton, Reggie Bullock, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel taking on James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, Lamarcus Aldridge. It is night 2 of a back-to-back for the Brooklyn Nets. I think Harden had yesterday off and Kyrie played. I don't know if they're going to like swap that today. Maybe keep an eye on that. It is, again, one of the mini games at lock. So if there is some secret squirrel stuff like that, we would know in time. Let me double check the Harden report here, see if that was just a planned thing. Hamstring will play Monday against so he was out yesterday or the last 2 games for a hamstring. 217 total, 6-point spread in favor of the home team Brooklyn Nets. This becomes one of those spots where we can easily write off the Knicks, but maybe Julius Randle, somebody we should leave as a one-off on, if I'm enamored with Kings and T-Wolves, and I just want to stick to that, and I want to lean on a couple one-offs elsewhere. Maybe Randle enters the conversation, but I could see myself not having much, if any, of the Knicks. RJ Barrett's kind of coming back down to earth on the south side of 7K. I still... I'm not comfortable with that, with Derrick Rose and Quickly and Alec Burks still coming off the bench. He's not playing the 38, 39 minutes that we were leaning on him as a 7K player, but it's still in the range of outcomes for him and Randle to have to perform above average to stay competitive against the Nets. On the Nets side, James Harden, Kyrie, both very, very viable individually, but very, very expensive individually. And you wonder at these price points, will they eat into each other's ceilings? I feel like that's more of a lazy way to get off of Harden than a good way, because we've seen Harden thrive just fine. A little bit of a wild card here. Lamarcus Aldridge as the center. I got him in for 26 minutes. Blake Griffin's out. Aldridge, like Griffin, seems to have found the fountain of youth with his new team. Center only on DraftKings now, but in his couple of games so far, 26 minutes yesterday against the Bulls, 22 fantasy points, and then 30 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets. 9 rebounds, 11 boards. Now, his 2 games with the Nets, 9 rebounds, 3 rebounds. Where is the real Aldridge? Like, if you want to look at even in his Blazers days, he wasn't really like a rebound monster. So I do wonder if maybe 5-ish rebounds is kind of where we should kind of stick with for Aldridge. But for the most part, I'm keeping his minutes pretty low. And it is a back-to-back, and we know, we feel like he's a little bit elevated in terms of protection. But at 5'8", 5'6", sure, maybe you take a stab at him. I think the Nets will probably all be tier 3 exposures for me, and I would probably even say that's the case here with Harden. Nets are going to face the slowest paced team in basketball, right? The New York Knicks, I believe, at last glance, were the slowest paced team in basketball, and yes, they are. And then, of course, the Knicks' defensive efficiency is pretty strong. Now, I don't think a defense in the league is really built to cover Harden and Kyrie, but the Knicks being a top 4 in defensive efficiency does enough to suggest that I could not prioritize Harden or Kyrie, and if I get to them, it's probably just some errant tier 3 exposures. Raj, any sharp fire takes here? I think for me, I don't like as much as like I maybe if in 100, 150 I could see a 5 to 8% cap on like a Barrett, but Randall's really like the only Knick that's kind of screaming at me. Maybe you could justify Noel, but I just think there's too much safety and upside at center to kind of give that up. Anyone on the Nets other than Harden, and anyone on the Knicks other than Randall when you think about the rest of the slate?
Yeah, so Randall's the only guy, probably a tier 3. Dropped 60 on him last game, averaging 56, so at 9.6. I think he's pretty good for 50 here. On the Brooklyn side, yeah, with Harden back, Kyrie playing, you have Aldridge there. I think Harden's an interesting pivot away from Cat, the pay-up guy. Like, he could outscore Cat. I think Cat probably outscores him, 70% of the time. But that 30% James Harden does, I think he can get some decent leverage on the field. Dropped 64 on him last time, so another 60-plus spot. Wouldn't be shocked with it. Am I getting to any Kyrie? I mean, maybe in like 50 lines, sure. If I'm running 20, probably I could avoid him. I wouldn't be shocked if I did. At 10K with Harden back, I think a bit of a tough price tag to play. Usually with Harden back, he's in the lower 9s. And I mean, you mentioned Aldridge. I think he's gonna be popular. In the past 2 games, he had one big game where he won people some tournaments. Got you 30.
I think he'll be popular.
You think it'll be popular? I think it'll be
at center only. I think center's too strong to land on Aldridge.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I was thinking he was power forward. Yeah, I see the only center tag. That's a little tough. So I mean, if I give him 25 minutes, yeah, even then, I don't think it's an optimal play. Yeah, I think we're in the same boat here, kind of just Randall and Harden, and sprinkle of Kyrie.
Yeah, looking at the last 10 games with James Harden with Kyrie, he's exceeded 73 out of 10 times. He exceeded 60 5 out of 10 times. So there's a 50% chance or greater on that sample size that he's a fine play for 60 plus on a shorter slate, medium slate. So 60, that dog will hunt. But yeah, probably not a priority for me just because I do think like that extra couple hundred is going to sit well for me to get some of those game stacks I like with the Sacramento side. And the thing is, like, even if you go to like Harden Cat, you lose out more likely on it like a Darren Fox. And I think Darren Fox is just like a wonderful run back option for my infatuation with the T-Wolves here. Let's see what you guys got in the live chat before we move on. Pete says, I'm not chasing the LMA Fountain of Youth. Randall one off. That's it. Same here. Josh says, we're back. Was missing the stream end of last week. Appreciate the love. Yeah, last week got crazy, but we back. W. Jeremy says Van Vliet, Kenrich, Williams, or Siakam, McLaughlin. Probably 2, because I don't think Van Vliet is a lock to even play. And if he did, I would be worried about his health. So double check that, because I didn't even put Van Vliet minutes in my spreadsheet to start. So we'll double check on that. We'll keep our ear to the ground. You know what that means, Raj? Ear to the ground.
Yeah, keep your ear to the news.
Back in the day, the old West, man.
Without TV and electronics,
with the
on the streets.
The natives would listen to listen for those horse and carriages, man. They put their ear to the ground, feel the vibrations.
Ready to fight.
Boom,
I hear you.
Boom. All right. Let's move on to the next game. San Antonio Spurs hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Cavs. Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade, and Kevin Love taking on Dejounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? We got a 218 total, 9.5 point spread favor the home team going OT. San Antonio Spurs. Kevin Love, 4,600 on FanDuel. Do we give Kevin Love more than 10 minutes? I think we do. Why? Because I click Kevin Durant. We're not playing. Okay, boom. My computer goes a little bit slower when I'm producing the stream as well. Kevin Love in his last couple games back, 23 and 20 minutes, 19 and 26 fantasy points respectively. 4,600. That's the old chip in a chair as a power forward on FanDuel. I definitely take a stab at that. Don't really think I land there on DraftKings. And outside of that, like Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, feels kind of hard to think that they would make the cut for me today of all days. On the Spurs side, Jakob Poeltl earning that 7K price tag, man. I've been on this dude for weeks now. Probably not going to prioritize 7K Jakob Poeltl because I'm probably going to need that 40 plus to feel like I'm getting a good deal. But overall, going to be a slow-paced game, a medium to low-scoring game, and the Spurs sizable favorites here. Any names sticking out as guys that you'd probably put as a tier 2 or greater? For me, no. And I'd probably I have a tier 3 Love on FanDuel maybe, and Jakob Poeltl as a tier 3. Just that's it. I don't really think I land on DeRozan or anybody here.
Yeah, I think we're on the same boat here. Of you play Kevin Love at that price. There's just so much upside there at that price where he can get you. I mean,
I still don't think he's gonna get
minutes.
I don't think he's gonna get dumb minutes. 25 minutes is.
I think 25. Yeah, in 25 minutes he can get you 35. DK. Sure. I mean, I don't know what's his usage look like the past couple of games. Top 2 in the league.
That's a great in the league and the team. Yeah, we could pull that up here. Cleveland Cavaliers. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna put Kevin Love on the court and not do anything crazy. Another boost for Love right now. So we got Larry Nance and Jared Allen kind of listed as out. So yeah, we'll put Kevin Love on the court. And I guess for the heck of it, we could take off some of these other cats.
And bring up San Antonio's rebounding rate.
All right, got you. That is in the NBA RunDFS.com VIP spreadsheet. Easy to access. Right there on the index board. You can see their offensive rebound rate and their defensive rebound rate. And just kind of do math in your head. Larry Nance, where are you? Larry Nance, boom, select players. And now we put Kevin Love on the court. So, in the sample size of 43 minutes, Kevin Love has a 29% usage rate, a 17% rebound rate, and a 23% assist rate. Again, the sample size of 43 minutes, not a whole lot to overreact to, but we know historically at 4,600, if we can get to 20 minutes, that's just the thing. It's a value play there. On DK, I'm not going there. I expect
the usage to be 23% probably, so I still expect to be over 20%. And at that price, I'll play Kevin Love all day, every day on FanDuel. And you mentioned Jakob Poeltl, been riding his wave too, been doing great. But man, more and more I'm thinking about, Cat really has to perform at his ownership and his price. He has to smash, because there's a lot of these centers at the points per dollar who do well.
Yeah, but center spot, at some point we're going to start valuing raw points.
Yeah, but if Cat gets you 50 today, he probably doesn't win you anything.
I don't necessarily means he loses you anything either. I think if he gets you 50 versus I don't want to say K-Love here, but if you get one of these 5-6K centers that get you 30, you probably make up the difference with your high end point guard. I think 50, that seems soft. This isn't Cat with Beasley, with Rubio, with D-Rose. This is Cat and Anthony Edwards, and that's it against the league worst defense.
Yeah, but I mean,
why? We're just making up thin air.
The DFS Peggy Sue ownership play. It's going to be popular. How many times have we seen the chalk guy against a Washington, against Sacramento, not come through for us often? So I'm just saying, there's pivots.
Sure, but it's not something I'm justifying with metrics, right? If we're saying he busted, it's just a leveraged thought. But but don't let Kevin Love get you off of.
Oh no, yeah, no, another thing. I know it's Jakob Poeltl, Kevin Love in this game. Is DeJounte Murray intriguing? I mean, Cleveland's top match for point guards.
Yeah, Cleveland is DVP wise. They're going to be a top matchup for a lot of positions, and also they are one of the worst defenses in basketball. The Cavs are, but again, the pace and stuff doesn't leave a whole lot to be desired. Cleveland. Cleveland has been pretty good at I want to say pretty good, but from in terms of fantasy points per game, they've been really suffering against the front court. So power forwards and centers the most. So Jakob Poeltl again, you just have to pay a premium. Let's get caught up on chat here. James, what up, James Gunn? Happy to see you back on NBA, big homie. Congrats on the baseball murder. My 2 favorite streams for the last 5 years combined. Loving fantasy. I mean, I appreciate that. That's love. I still have baseball content here. So my deal with them is just a couple shows a week. If we build on that, sure, then I'll do more over there. But like I did do a baseball stream earlier today that's on this channel, looking at tonight's 7-game main slate. But yeah, it's an incredible opportunity, and it's really just been mutually beneficial on both sides. Pete says Keldon's an interesting term to play. Love the Poeltl club. Yup. Might go with Miller on OKC for power forward over Love on DK. So again, DraftKings Kevin Love interest is very, very low for me at 5.7. It's really just a 4-6 FanDuel play that I'm a buyer on. Let's move on to the next game here. The Oklahoma City Thunder hosting the Detroit Pistons. Project starting 5 for the Pistons. Saban Lee, Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart with no Mason Plumlee. There's a center you can play up against Theo Maledon, Svi Mykhailiuk, Kendrick Williams, Alexis Pokusevski, and Moses Brown. A 213.5 total, 3-point spread in favor of the visiting Detroit Pistons. So 213 total is going to be good for probably the lowest game total on the slate. Some stuff to like here, some stuff that sounds good, but then you think about the Dwayne Casey factor, and then some stuff that feels like a free square. Starting on the Pistons side, you get an opportunity at Isaiah Stewart without Mason Plumlee. This, I think, is the strongest case to be anti-cat, at least on DraftKings. On FanDuel, Isaiah Stewart is a power forward, and he's just like a lock. Like he would be, when I open up a thing, he's probably preloaded as my power forward one, $200 above min price. 26 minutes against the Knicks, only 11 fantasy points. Knicks being a top 4 team in defensive efficiency, a slow-paced game. I kind of like his chances to excel upon that. I probably would have tapered expectations on what the median range outcome would be. Right now I got him for 25, 26 on FanDuel. That'd be a dream, but I'd almost be willing to take a 20 to 22. So it just like, I'm fine with that. Jeremy Grant's really subsided to 6,400 on FanDuel, really cheap, and the rest of the Pistons are 5K or less, and they are all unique and interesting in and of themselves. But that's where the Casey factor comes into play, where you just don't know. Like we got Killian Hayes back in the mix. He's their top draft pick. Will he start starting one of these games here and there? Like we've seen so much carousel of inconsistency for the Pistons that it's hard to lock in on one or two guys. It's a Ham Diallo revenge game, right? Maybe he plays up back against OKC and make them regret trading him or something like that. But otherwise, like it's hard to have a high confidence level on these Pistons, but I can understand all the cases individually. On the Thunder side, I got Muscala out, I got SGA still out, Lou Dort, Darius Bazley, and Isaiah Roby out. So this is a Thunder team that looks like a G League superstar team, right? Theo Maledon, Svi, who's coming part of that trade with the Pistons, a revenge game factor for him if you believe in that. He's very, very cheap on FanDuel at 3,800. You got to get there to him on DK at draft at 52, but 3,800, that's chipping a chair for 25, 30 fantasy points. Kendrick Williams, you guys mentioned that, and then Moses Brown, Pokusevski. Moses Brown is 6'8", 7K. I still think he can deliver at that price point, but he's kind of in no man's land right there with like Jakob Poeltl, where you kind of like Cat or you kind of like the cheap options and don't know how often you land in the middle. And then if you got to a Moses Brown, you're like 1,000 away from like a Rudy Gobert. So the Thunder and the Pistons are both volatile pre and post flop. I think like that there's probably going to be 2 to 4 good plays in this game, but the consistency on who it is very volatile. So I guess, Raj, what are the names that are sticking out to you? I think Isaiah Stewart is probably the number one option, especially on FanDuel. But past him, what do we do?
Past him, I think, I don't know if I want to tier one him. I might tier two Pokaveski, Pokashevsky. Just the minutes past 5 games, 32, 31, 34, 33, 31. He's chucking shots, 10, 17, 14, 13. Last game he shot 3 for 13. Can you bring up his usage recently? I feel like it might be touching 20% for this team.
Pokusevski?
There's no Roby? Yeah.
I mean, I'll run it, but yeah, there's probably like a less than 100-minute sample size. So we're just really trying to take off everyone that might be off from this game.
Like, I'm saying, like, for the guys who are available right now, he might be the most talented scorer on this team.
I don't disagree. All right, let me take those guys out. We've also had a game in the mix where like Ty Jerome was out, and I think Ty Jerome's available. Actually, I don't even know if he was out that game. So Pokusevski with a bunch of people off. The sample size goes to 80 minutes, and he has a 19% usage rate, 18% assist rate, 11% rebound rate, and just under a fantasy point per minute. Kendrick Williams is the guy that leads the team in fantasy point per minute, 1.5. That's completely sustainable, I promise. And then usage-wise, it's a whole lot of 20-ish% or less. So it's very, very meh. So it's hard.
Isaiah Roby is out today too.
Right.
That's like a good 23 minutes, a few shots. So I just think he might play 30. Probably, I think he'll play like 35 minutes at that power forward spot. So I really like him. You mentioned Kendrick Williams. I think that's interesting. I mean, both those guys, small forward, eligible on DraftKings, a similar price. That's a nice 1v1. So I think that there's definitely a guy in OKC. There's going to be one guy in OKC, I think, who breaks the slate and is going to be the winning lineup. Who it is? I mean, Maladov's coming off of a down game. I probably don't get to him at that point guard spot, but he's intriguing at 5,600. They're all priced accordingly. It's Detroit, good matchup. They just don't have the bodies. I mean, maybe even a couple of these guys end up.
So for me, like I like Ty Jerome on both sides. I think he's probably their most talented point guard guy. Like, he can create plays. If I can get him to 25 minutes in this matchup, I feel like there's a chip in the chair for 20 plus. But again, the volatility factor is so high. We've seen him score as much as 33 in the last 10 games and as little as 9. So I think that's just generally the name of this game is, yeah, these guys could get there. Yeah, these guys could be average, or these guys could be bad. So I'm going to try and load up elsewhere. And if I stock and stuff for a couple tier 3s here outside of Isaiah Stewart, I think it's going to be like a tier 1 for me. I get there. I would also say maybe Jeremy Grant is obvious in plain sight. We're talking about revenge games. Grant had, a cup of coffee in Thunder. If you take out Plumlee, like maybe there's some more potential for Jeremy Grant to go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Obviously, his usage on the team, I think, has been the highest game to game on the whole team. His end results here in that far right column, not great, but he does have the upside of a 40+ fantasy point game. So maybe he's just kind of hidden in plain sight where we just don't click him because he's consistently inconsistent. But at 6,400 on FanDuel, it's
an intriguing FanDuel price for sure. Yeah, no, I think on FanDuel you can definitely tier 3 him. I think he should have a relatively high floor without Plumlee. Should be good for 30 and definitely has a 45, 50 plus upside. But yeah, I mean, the guys we mentioned, Isaiah Stewart, again, Pokusevski, Kendrick Williams leading the team in usage, surprisingly. OKC just priced really nicely where you can get a couple of those guys. Detroit, Jeremy Grant, and Isaiah Stewart.
I just don't want to overexpose to OKC as one of the lowest total teams on the slate, and we've already seen this a few times. But Jeremy Grant, 27% usage rate after taking a bunch of people off, only 118 minutes of sample size, about a fantasy point per minute. Isaiah Stewart is first in fantasy point per minute at 1.3. Usage rate not great, but the rebound rate's at 21%. So yeah, maybe Jeremy Grant's just right there in front of us for an easy 40. It's just kind of getting slept on. But again, I don't think I can get more than at like a tier 3 level of interest for anyone in this game outside of Isaiah Stewart. Let's get caught up on chat. James says, I love Moses Brown and Pokusevski today. I think this is the contrarian game stack. Maladon as well. Man, I don't know about like stacking this one just because both teams are so slow and so bad. But like price-wise, I understand. Like you can throw a blanket over the concentrated usage. But even like the Pistons I only have one guy on the Pistons team projected over 30 fantasy points. It's kind of like the Grizzlies, right? The Thunder are a little bit different. So maybe I can understand that. But I don't know if I'm going to be overly invested in
I will
stacking.
say one of my in a dummy line of DraftKings, I just need like a $3,400 punt, and Killian Hayes ended up in there, not running to play it, but he's 3,100.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Hand Diallo, revenge, book it. Boom. Next game. Washington Wizards at the Toronto Raptors. Project 35 for the Raptors. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Danny Advia. Davis Bertans, Alex Len taking on Malachi Flynn, Gary Trent, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Chris Boucher. The keys to this game, the story of this game, is the availability or lack thereof of both Bradley Beal and Fred VanVleet. It would definitely change the makeup of this game a lot. We'll start with the Toronto side on VanVleet's status. Initially, it was assumed that VanVleet would miss a decent chunk of time. He's been listed as questionable because things are looking a little bit more hopeful. He's dealing with a strained left hip flexor. He did not practice Sunday, but his MRI was clean. It's good news for VanVleet and the Raptors. He downplayed the injury to coach Nick Nurse after Friday's game, and the test results confirmed that he avoided major structural damage. He could still miss time, however. So I do think it's plausible to presume him out just as a safety thing. That's kind of what I did. Maybe I'm being over aggressive with that move, but just understand, like, right now I'm leaning towards VanVleet being out, but he's not officially out. Luckily, it is one of the many games right there at lock, so we should have that information. And then on the Wizards side, Bradley Beal listed as questionable. He's dealing with a bruised right hip. He's missed 4 straight games with the injury, though at least he's being called questionable. Ideally, we'll have some clarity after Monday's shoot-around so that managers will be okay. So look out for some Bradley Beal news. If Bradley Beal misses and if Fred VanVleet misses, we could have incredible usage upticks right there for Russell Westbrook and Pascal Siakam. So I would be all about running those two at each other. And then, of course, we'd be trying to make up the difference in Bradley Beal's usage like we've been doing all year with some guys like Davis Bertans, Advia, guys like that. I'm not probably going to prioritize anyone but Westbrook from that side of things. On the Raptors side, if VanVleet missed, we've already got an out list that includes Kyle Lowry, Rodney Hood, guys like that. It would be Ninabe all day long, all day strong for me. Gary Trent, I got him at 37 minutes right now going against a porous defense like the Wizards. I'd be all about some of that. And OG Anunoby is $7K on both sides, but arguably worth it, would be in the mix for me as well. And then Chris Boucher, the curious case of Chris Boucher. Does he start? Does he start the second half? And does he get there? Would be right there, chipping a chair, 5 to 5'9" on both sides. So many ways that can go. If VanVleet did play, he probably gets slotted right back into 30-plus minutes. I'd be there on that. And then Malachi Flynn doesn't really give you the warm and fuzzies, but he is really, really cheap. If you're going to mention Killian Hayes, we got to mention Malachi Flynn. 31 minutes against Golden State, dropped 33 fantasy points, so we at least know he can be a point per minute or greater, and we really only need him to be like a 25 fantasy point play today, but he does get bolstered by the fact that the Wizards run one of the fastest paces in the league and also parlay that with one of the worst defenses in the league. So no reason not to like a Raptor stack and not to love Russell Westbrook as potentially the counterpart or the counter argument to a Cat, but also like the easy pivot to like a Harden. So Westbrook and full Raptor stack. You got any different spins on that one?
No, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. Like, I mean, if VanVleet sits, I don't see how you don't have. I mean, guaranteed 2. I'm probably thinking 3. Like Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent in 60% of your lines. I will probably get there. In the Washington side, if Beal sits, do you like Towns or Westbrook more?
I mean, Westbrook probably has the higher floor-ceiling ratio. I'd probably find a way to get on FanDuel. I think it would be way too easy to play them both.
Yeah, DraftKings it's a little tough. You're gonna give up some other guys this year.
100%.
So yeah, I mean that's actually one you definitely got to keep in the pool if Bradley Beal's out. If Bradley Beal's in, I think you still want to play Westbrook in tournaments. Obviously, I think Bradley Beal limits him a little bit, but he can still get you 60+, which you don't hate. I would probably stay away from the peripheral pieces. Like, I mean, I was high on Avija last game. He got the price bump. He just gets you 20 every game. It's fine. And again, Raptors, you play those 3. And I think Boucher is interesting as a 4th guy. Center only is tough. Price come up a little bit, but it's Washington, so he could smash. And for point guard, Malachi Flynn played 31 minutes in a huge blowout, historical blowout against Golden State. Again, with no VanVleet, he could see 30 minutes here. And it's Washington 3,500. I mean, kind of don't hate that on that guard.
Yeah. Again, Chad, I can't stress this enough. VanVleet isn't officially out. I'm just kind of leaning him out in my early projections. And all but one game is right at lock. So we'll have that news with plenty of time to adjust. Malachi Flynn, also part of that like death game, that onslaught against the Warriors, where it got ugly. It got like I almost felt bad.
I worried about Gary Trent's price a little bit. I mean, 6,600 on DK, and even OG Anunoby's price 7,200. Like, there's some downside to those prices, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, definitely the floor could bottom out. Trent has been super solid 2 games straight. I do think if there's no VanVleet, like he's probably their best shooting guard. And I mean, 15 to 20 shot attempts against one of the worst defenses and fastest paced teams in the Washington Wizards. I just gotta buy that 6'6". I think OG Anunoby has a little bit more of a case of potentially busting at over 7K, because that's the price point where I need that 40 plus, and that's right there at Anthony Edwards prices, right? I think his shot volume is probably going to be a little less consistent than Gary Trent in terms of, you know, how often does he get 15 or more shot attempts. The counter punch here is Anunoby probably has a higher peripheral floor than a Gary Trent, like probably going to get 5-6 rebounds as a floor, and you know he's good for the defensive peripherals, the blocks and steals. And in a fast-paced game like the Wizards run, those peripherals would just happen. The steals and the blocks will just happen. So I would probably say he gives us a higher peripheral floor than Gary Trent. But Gary Trent's shot volume is super safe. And Gary Trent on FanDuel 5'4". I just don't know how he's not one of my highest owned shooting guards. If assuming that VanVleet is out.
VanVleet's out.
But yeah, 7K Anunoby I definitely think has a floor.
He gets you like 35 and you'll be like, eh.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think his floor is not as strong as you'd like it long term.
It's also Washington did like a great steals and block spot for him.
Yeah, so right now in my projections, if I have VanVleet out, I have like a 3-man bench of guys that will get double-digit minutes. And then 1 through 4 of the Raptors, I got 31 minutes, 37, 37, 37. You get that many minutes in a total that's pushing 230 against one of the fastest paced teams. The Wizards also have a bottom 6 defensive efficiency, and when it comes to pace rating, the Wizards are number 1. They're the fastest team in basketball. So you get that many minutes for the most possessions really possible. It's hard, like, and everyone's other than Siakam's under 8K. Is Siakam the most bust prone here because he's the highest priced?
I mean, I could see it. He can get you a mid-30s, and I wouldn't be shocked. But again, I think he's going to have a little bit more playmaking duties if both those got a point guard. I mean, if VanVleet sits. So right, it's just again, it's Washington. For some other team, maybe not. But again, Siakam has that 55-point upside here. I think what's intriguing is OG Anunoby versus Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
is it Anthony Edwards snap call or?
I think it's Edwards for ceiling, maybe. And then Anunoby for floor, but I don't even feel like super confident in that statement. I'm gonna do a little on-off court tool here. I'm gonna take off VanVleet, Rodney Hood, Lowry, and Norman Powell, and let's put on Siakam. Just kind of I just don't want to you know how when like Kemba or Jaylen Brown gets out and like I want to play Jason Tatum, and then I feel like a lot of times that burns me. I don't want this to be that spot. But Siakam has a usage rating of just 23%, 49 minutes. Not really a sample size worth noting, but an incredible use or assist percentage at 31%, and over a fantasy point per minute. So I probably don't overthink the matchup here. I'm just wondering if Siakam at this price, if a 40. I'm not saying a 40 would kill me, but would a 40 not do a whole lot for me?
He won't do a whole lot out of his ownership. Him and Cat might be 40% owned on the slate.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Chat Desmond says, "Wow, big NFL news. Quan is our Woj Adam Schefter." Or is that a troll? Oh, does that say Jets trading Sam Darnold to the Panthers for a 2021 6th round? Let me see. Is this real?
I mean, Sam Darnold, yeah, I think so. Wait, yeah, Panthers want to trade up. Would be interested in Sam Darnold if can't. I think they just want Sam Darnold as a backup. Oh, no, filed ESPN. Jets trading Sam Darnold to Carolina Panthers, yep. It's official.
Wonder how Jake feels.
I mean, who's the Jets quarterback?
It's whoever they draft now. They have the number 2 pick, right? So
after Trevor Lawrence.
yeah, who's after Trevor Lawrence? I'm pretty sure they'll be all right. What's up, Mark? Who's your best values right now? Looking like Isaiah.
Isaiah Stewart, Jordan McLaughlin, and
yeah,
those are the top 2. Yeah.
Maybe Kevin Love on FanDuel, but not pushing that. W. Jones says Ninabe at 7,200 is an easy choice over Grant on DK at power for the same price. Yeah, I don't think that's
close. I mean, I think that's a lot closer.
I think Ninabe has the stronger floor there, and then
yeah,
you can, maybe the ceiling's the same, but then you're just playing ranges of outcomes.
It seems he's at like a 35-point floor past 5 games. He hasn't got below that.
Tall says if Vliet's in, I won't play Siakam. Yeah, if Van Vliet is in, it changes everything dramatically. And like I said, it's just me playing with him being out, considering the scare that they had. But there's at least above 0% chance that he's in, so don't over.
Is Van Vliet a tier 1 if he plays? Because I mean, if Lowry gets ruled out right now, everyone runs to Van Vliet against Washington.
Let me type in his name here, see what we're dealing with. Van Vliet would be a on FanDuel, he'd be 7-4 on DK 8-1. Tier 1 is strong, but maybe tier 2. I mean, still in the Edwards area. Probably. Like, if he's going to get those 36 to 38 minutes, I'd be bullish on him, but I also feel like maybe I don't have to be overly bullish if the field, wasn't already on him, right? Darren says, I think the Jets take Zach Wilson and San Francisco takes Fields. I can see that. Old Jets. Jets. We got one game left on the docket, chat. If you guys want to hang out with me for the 2 hours prior to baseball and basketball lock today, we'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Go check it out, RunDFS.com. Get yourself signed up. Try out a week pass. We do have month passes. I do have the full MLB season pass, but don't be fooled. It's not just for MLB. It's one pass fits all. So it's good until October 3rd, which is going to encompass the first month of football as well. So that includes daily access to the Discord. I will say I do try to take 1 day off a week, usually a Sunday. So I'll say 6 day a week coverage of spreadsheets for both baseball and basketball. Pre-log voice chats as long as I don't have stream obligations, and then you get access to the projections, the daily player pools that I'll have my player pools for both baseball and basketball up. I tier them, my tier 1s, 2s, 3s, stuff like that. So if you guys want to compare your notes to mine or tail mine, or even say Gunt's an idiot, I'm going to play everything he doesn't want to play, it's there for you. I do have player projections for NBA on DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, and our player props tab is a useful tool to go attack PrizePicks and your prop betting sites, listing projected fantasy points, which is the same scoring that PrizePicks is using for their OUs, which is the same as FanDuel scoring. Real points, rebounds, assists, PRA, and 3-pointers made. So check that out. I think it's a good little tool to attack PrizePicks. And then we've talked about PrizePicks. If you guys missed it earlier, this week I'm going to do a pretty cool partnership with PrizePicks that will give you a free week pass at RunDFS.com if you sign up to PrizePicks using code GUNDACKER. And not only would you get the free week pass, but they already are going to double your instant deposit bonus. You sign up using code GUNDACKER, you drop $10 in there, they're going to turn that in 20. You can fire off some parlays with prop bets for every sport, even esports. And then tomorrow in the morning, when they send me my sheet of people that have signed up using the code, I verify it. Boom, you hit me up on Twitter or email. Twitter would be best. And I'll say, all right, boom, got you. Boom, week pass at RunDFS.com. And if you're a current active subscriber and you haven't signed up for PrizePicks, you can add a week to your subscription by signing up this week. So check that out. Cool little promotion we're doing there. And then, we have baseball's barely getting started. We're still on our first rotation for pitchers. I'm having a blast. Every night this week, Raj, I've been one hit away from winning a tournament. Every effing night. And last night, I don't know if I told you my beat last night, Raj. I played the single game slate on FanDuel, the Angels and White Sox. Yeah. And I was in first place in like the 7th inning. And then I lost first place to a lineup that had Lurie Garcia. And you didn't watch the game. Tim Anderson started that game, got injured running to first base. Lurie Garcia came in for him, substituted for Tim Anderson. So I lost the tournament to a guy who played a backup guy. And it's not crazy in a 1-game slate to play like a bench guy and like a NL pinch hit, whatever. But for Lurie Garcia to be one of the higher scorers on that slate, oh, it's so rough. I had Jared Walsh as my highest owned player. He double donged. I still made money last night, but the fact that I lost a tournament to a guy that had a time machine, it just it doesn't sit right, you know. But every night this week, I've just been one big hit. I finished 12th place in a squeeze the other day. It's just every night, so it's coming. What up, Sharkilla? Since everyone's going to be so chalky, Darius Miller for that one random low-owned guy. Yeah. So you want Osmo as a thing in this MLB? What's up, Jose? Yeah, I do have a contract deal. Not a contract, but I have a deal with Osmo to do a couple streams a week right now for MLB. I don't know that, like, maybe you'd expect me full season. You have to understand the spot that they're in. They provide content for so many different sports, and a lot of their MLB guys are still being tasked with NBA coverage. So I think I'm just kind of helping the stress load there. But like so far it's been really, really positive from a behind the scenes and chat standpoint. So maybe, you know, they look at me as somebody that they can lean on a little bit longer. But for right now, I'm just trying to help out where they need some help for baseball. So I will be on Osmo. Right now, I think I'm scheduled for Thursday and Friday, maybe Saturday. So just a couple times a week. Keep it simple. So if I'm not over there, I'll try and do a video over here for baseball, you know. Mark says, I asked Yahoo what my net winnings were on Yahoo in 2020. They said they couldn't help me. I asked DraftKings, same question. They had the info in less than an hour. Yahoo's the lowest grand prizes. So, yeah, I can't speak on behalf of Yahoo, but on FanDuel and DraftKings, you can just go to your account and download your 1099, right? And then you're good to go. All right, we got all the plugs out the way. Main event tonight, Phoenix Suns at the Houston Rockets. Project starting 5 for the Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and McCall Bridges. Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton taking on Kevin Porter Jr., Avery Bradley, Sterling Brown, Jayshawn Tate, Christian Wood. Visiting Phoenix Suns favored by 14 in the hook. A 2-2-2 and another 1-2 is our total. We got Dante Exum, Eric Gordon, Daniel House, David Nwaba, and John Wall listed as out. This is the only game on this slate that is not at lock. Every other game is at lock, and this is your late swap pivot game. If you're dying in a fire and you just need crazy plays, you lean to this one. And this is probably the least appealing game on the slate, right? We got a crazy 2-touchdown home dog here in the Rockets. Maybe you still want a shot at Kevin Porter on FanDuel, 6,200, chipping a chair of that for 30-plus fantasy points. But there's not a whole lot to really, really be in love with. On the Phoenix side, I think you can make some cases for Paul, Devin Booker, and even DeAndre Ayton. But nothing sticks out as like front-end Tier 1 options and even Tier 2s. Even with some of these injuries, Kelly Olynyk has moved up to over 5K, almost 6K on DraftKings. So I feel like this is just some Tier 3 shots in the dark to fill in the holes here on some of our lineups that are already established. And this could be one of those nights where whoever's in first place at the end of the first games is going to stay in first place. Raj, any crazy must-have fire takes for you here?
I mean, no. I mean, Kevin Porter's got priced all the way up. I really don't want to play him against Phoenix. I think the Houston side in general, I'm kind of good with fading, even with John Wall out. It just seems like, you know, everyone's sharing the ball, and everyone's really priced up now on DraftKings. At Phoenix side, I think DeAndre Ayton is a guy I'm kind of looking at, 6,700. He dropped 60 on him last time. Had a season high in 35 minutes. If he plays 30 plus minutes today, I could see him getting maybe not 60, obviously, but like a 45, 50 at 6,700. I mean, there's going to be nobody on that team to stop him, so I wouldn't be shocked if DeAndre Ayton could have a big game for you. But other than that, really, nope. I think he's the only guy I'll probably get to in this game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really see anything crazy here. I see Wilson Ramos homer for the Tigers. That's interesting. Chat, any hot takes from this one? Throw them at me. If not, we're getting low on Stuff to talk about. This game was a blowout fading. Yeah, I mean, just because it's a blowout doesn't mean I would run from it from that principle. It's just more so the matchup and the prices. I think Kevin Porter on FanDuel is still viable. More so for the fact that he's a small forward, right? Kevin Porter, yeah, small forward. And sometimes small forward can be a little bit shallow. And a guy with enough minutes and usage that can just go ahead and give me a shot at 30 fantasy points, I'd take a stab at him. Especially like looking at small forward in general, it's going to be like Ninabe, and that's it. Past the Ninabe, it's very, very damp. So I don't hate a couple of errant shares there, and that might be an overpay for 25 spot, but he's still cheap enough there. On DK, I do feel like you're priced almost out of playability. And yeah, chat, anything here? Pete says, I might play Dario from this game, but that's it. Thoughts on Terence Davis from the Sacramento, Minnesota game? All right, we'll back up to that one. Dez says, if this is a blowout, can you see Kelly Olynyk getting lots of run? I have Olynyk for 30 minutes anyway, so I'd probably plant 30 minutes on him and Wood as a split. I think that's fine, but Olynyk is, I guess he is forward eligible on FanDuel, or excuse me, on DraftKings. Yeah, yeah, you can take some shots at Olynyk. He's been pretty strong to start the year. 45, 20, 26, 44. A couple 40 bombs in his debut. I would say 45 against the Pelicans, especially that Pelicans team, is probably not something I would transfer as a reasonable range of outcome against this Suns team, but it's not impossible for him to drop 30-plus fantasy points, you know? Watch this be a triple overtime game. Yeah, show up and start scrapping. Yeah, that's what I got. All right, so what was the question? Terence Davis, chat. If you got any other questions, comments, concerns, throw them at me. We'll try and revisit. I got plenty of time. Maybe I can steal a shower between now and voice chat. Remember, I will be in the pre-lock voice chat at the top of the hour, and I'll be making my baseball and basketball player polls. Let me go to the Terence Davis question for the Kings. I have Terence Davis about 18 minutes right now, about a point per minute in those minutes, so I think he's viable, but at the end of the day, he's probably just a long shot punt, and a punt is a punt for a reason. If it happens, it happens, but it would have to be like a big field for me to get to. I think at that price point, I'd probably land on Svi Mikhailiuk. If this is a FanDuel or DraftKings question, I guess Svi on FanDuel, not so much DraftKings. So Svi on FanDuel, I've got him for like 30 minutes, a little bit of revenge narrative if you're nasty, $300 above min, and I got him closer to 30. Not a strong play, but probably a little deeper minutes than Terence Davis, just as a floater in that area. And then of course we already know McLaughlin, right? Do you like Woods under 38? Fantasy points on PrizePicks.
Christian Wood.
Yeah, let me see what do I got for him projected. So if he's at prize player props. So if you guys have questions like this and you are a subscriber, you go to the player props tab, Control F Wood. I have Wood at 38 fantasy points in the 38.2, and the question's 38. So we're right there with each other. That's probably too close for me to be comfortable with. 38's kind of on the nose. Yeah, I don't know if I like the under or over. I think that's right at the point of comfort. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to bet that. I'm sorry. Watch this video. All right. That's it, chat. That's it. I will be back tomorrow, likely at 1 p.m. Eastern, likely. If the MLB main slate is the same, I'll do a 1 p.m. baseball stream, and then we'll come back at it with a basketball stream. Let me see what the NBA schedule is looking like tomorrow. I think soon. Doesn't the NBA usually take off to like the national championship game, or is that just... Yeah, I think that is NBA. So I think soon we might have a reprieve for a whole day for NBA. But tomorrow we got 2, 4, 6, 8 games on the main slate. So I'd probably aim for 3 p.m. Eastern again. And then another big slate.
We only got like a month left in the regular season too. Or a month and a bit.
Yeah, it's more than a month. It's closer to 2 months, I think. So about like a month and a half. So there's a lot of sports to play. And you know what's crazy? We got over a month and a half of NBA, and there's teams everywhere fighting for positioning, and every night feels like the last game of a regular season where people are getting scratched and ruled out and stuff like that. So hopefully that stuff will calm down. But yeah, tomorrow is a 6 p.m. main slate lock, so probably look for a 3 p.m. Eastern stream. And then I'll try and commit to another 1 p.m. Eastern baseball stream. And that would hopefully be the schedule going forward. And then on days where I can do an awesome MLB stream, I'll probably just skip the MLB side of things here and then maybe go an hour earlier on NBA, maybe. So stick with me on that one. Twitter.com/Gundeckers, where you guys can reach out to me. DMs are open. Life of Sent. How many Timberwolves is too many? McLaughlin, Edwards, McDaniels, and Daniels too much. I don't think that's too much at all. I think generally on a 7-game slate, I don't want to have too much of a four-player team stack. But in my opto, I would allow up to 4 as I'm scripting. I'd probably like to have more of just 3 than 4. But I don't think that's too many. Like generally, I think all 4 of those guys could hit coincidentally. Tribe Called Q, who's the best player from the Houston and Phoenix game? Maybe it's a FanDuel, probably Devin Booker gives you a shot at 30 plus real points. On DraftKings, also on FanDuel, Kevin Porter has a case at 6'2", just because of position scarcity at small forward. Then on DraftKings, DeAndre Ayton kind of profile as well as a center against the Rockets, and centers have been tearing up the Rockets. So DeAndre Ayton could be mid-30s to 40-plus fantasy points. So that's kind of where I would lean there. And Ayton's not off limits on FanDuel, but I do believe on FanDuel, center is going to be so high-end ceiling. Like Cat could drop 60. Rashawn Holmes could run back a 50 in his own right. There's enough beef at center that I don't maybe chase a middling 38 or something from Ayton. But those are probably the few names there. Anyway, that's it. Raj, I'll see you in like an hour. And chat, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're not in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, what are you waiting on? Go to RunDFS.com. Make yourself an account. Get signed up. Week Pass. Try it out. Try that PrizePicks promotion. And like I said, Twitter.com/Gundecker. If you guys got anything else for me on your way out, if you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, help the channel grow. Big things coming. A lot of baseball, a lot of basketball. I love you guys. I appreciate you making part of my day. Be part of your day. As always, good luck. God bless. And go win some money.